there, senior leader, and welcome to the Talent Sherpa podcast. This is where senior leaders come to rethink how human capital really works. I'm your host, Jackson Lynch, and today we're going to take a hammer to a title that's been collecting dust for far too long: the Chief Human Resources Officer. Now, before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to Dan Kaplan over at ZRG. His recent writing really inspired this segment, and you're going to hear some of his ideas echo in what I talk about, not only today, but honestly in some of the episodes we'll be doing in the upcoming weeks and months ahead. We're going to put a link to his article in the show notes. He's got a very sharp take on the future of this role, and I agree with him. The CHRO title is outdated. Now, I know titles don't normally change quickly. If they did, we wouldn't still have the Chief People Officer, the Chief Talent Officer, the Chief Human Resources Officer, the SVP of HR, the VP of HR. Okay. It's like their corporate wallpaper. They stay the same until they are so old that they come back in style, or until somebody finally admits that the pattern is ugly. But here's the thing. The work of today's top HR leaders, the impact that we have, the expectations that are placed on us, bear almost no resemblance to the job description that came with the title 20 years ago, 10 years ago, heck, 5 years ago, or even today. I think it's time to call it what it is. It's outgrown. Because when the CHRO title was coined, the role was meant to manage human resources as a function: benefits, compliance, recruiting, labor relations, performance management. Today's top HR leaders are doing something completely different. We are the architects of human potential. We're designing the systems, the culture, and the capabilities that literally dictate how far and how fast the business can go. We're not just managing headcount, we are redesigning the very work itself. Now, years ago, those who know me know I made the leap from engineering to human resources. And for the first 20 years of my career, every interview had the question, why would you do that? And now, I can't imagine a more impactful background: process engineering with even more independent variables to move and drive the business forward. It's the way we've got to all be thinking. And if you think I'm overstating it, here's the truth. Strategy today starts with people, not products. And the best companies' market moves are determined by workforce capability. Your ability to hire the right people, engage them in meaningful work, and elevate their performance will decide whether your big strategic bet pays off or whether it becomes a slide on the PowerPoint deck you stop showing after quarter two. I've said this for years. If you have a strategy problem or an execution problem, at the end of the day, you have a talent problem. Now let's talk culture. For years, culture was treated as a soft metric, something that you measure through a survey once a year, maybe 96 questions, even a few posters slapped up in the break room. Scott Morris and I talked about this a few weeks ago. Those days are thankfully done. Culture is a measurable asset with a direct link to return on investment. You can tie it to revenue, margin, speed of execution, even new product development in some industries like tech. But you can't get there if you treat culture as an HR-owned program and an afterthought. It's a CEO-level lever. Try saying that 5 times fast. And if the CHRO isn't operating as a co-owner of that lever, you've already lost at least half the battle. Too many HR leaders, they see culture as run like a personal bake sale. It's fun, it's well-intentioned, people feel good about it, but it's disconnected from the actual operating model. In high-performing companies, however, culture is baked, no pun intended, into the decision-making norms, the way meetings run, the way priorities get set, how people get promoted. They focus in on, do we have the right priorities? Do we have the right talent? Do we have the right friction-free relationships to get stuff done? It's a system. It's not a slogan. Now, the skill mix for this role has shifted hard towards experimentation, and I mean hard. The best CHROs today are running pilots, doing rapid tests, running A/B comparisons on things like onboarding approaches or leadership development models. We've talked about it recently about adopting Agile. The best CHROs are taking habits from product innovation and applying it to people strategy. So if your instinct when you see a new issue popping up is to write a 15-page policy, I promise you, you're going to get left behind. Rigid policy mindsets fail in this environment. The half-life of a skill today is even shorter than ever. Market conditions are changing overnight. Technology adoption curves have flattened almost nothing. You need a mindset that's comfortable with launching, learning, iterating, and occasionally killing something that you thought was going to be brilliant after it flops in the wild. The winners are the ones who test and adapt faster than their competition, not the ones who get it perfect on paper before doing anything. Again, we've talked about this before. By the time you get there, the business has already moved on. Now let's talk data, because this is where a lot of HR leaders are still trying to bring a sundial to a Formula One race. And it's not always their fault. I'm not judging. But reporting headcount and turnover and engagement scores, yeah, that's table stakes. And oftentimes it's looking in the rearview mirror, and it's really not anything that's tied to things that will drive the business forward. Predicting, however, where those numbers will go and why before it happens, that is the game changer. High-performing HR leaders are fluent in data science, in organizational psychology, and behavioral economics. They know how to combine predictive analytics with the understanding of human behavior to make calls that avoid problems before they blow up. This is the difference between reacting to a crisis and generating the conditions for success months in advance. So when you and your CEO are talking and the question comes up, where is the business at risk from a talent perspective? And you are able to answer with confidence, with numbers, and with scenarios, you stop being seen as an advisory function or even a functional function, if that's such a thing. You start being seen as a business engine. That is where you want to be. And here's where the role really outgrows its name. Influence no longer stops at the company's org chart. The next generation CHRO is shaping the entire talent ecosystem. That means building relationships with universities and training providers, partnering with suppliers and vendors to align talent standards, keeping alumni engaged so that they can be rehired, become advocates, or even influencing industry norms through advocacy and thought leadership. And as a CHRO, if you don't know the top 100 pivotal talents at your competitors, you're not doing your job. Today's talent is borderless. Your pipeline is not the people in your ATS or on your org chart. It's in the communities you engage, the networks you nurture, and the partnerships that you forge. This is not traditional HR. This is business leadership with a talent lens. Do you see the difference? So you might be asking yourself, where does this leave us? And if you're still operating as a CHRO, you are underselling yourself. The job is now about talent, innovation, foresight, and measurable impact. And you should measure it based upon the same outcomes that your operational leaders have, not just your HR internal ones. Now, I've been thinking about this for a while since I read Dan's piece, and I think the more accurate title for many of the best in the role today is Chief Talent and Innovation Officer. Maybe it's Chief Talent Architect. Maybe it's Chief Employee Performance Officer. I don't know. But whatever it is, it needs to signal that your focus isn't on administering people processes. It's on shaping the company's destiny by building capability, the culture, and the foresight to win in the future. Now, here's the quick wrap up. And if you're listening while driving, this is the part to remember. No need to write it down. Just come back and listen to this part again. 1, the CHRO title undersells what the best are already doing. And more will fall behind as we move into 2030 and beyond. 2, culture is not soft. It's measurable and high stakes. 3, experimentation beats policy 6 days a week, twice on Sunday. And when the environment is moving fast, you have got to be able to move faster. 4, predictive talent data separates the reactive from the generative. And if you don't know what those mean, you want to be the latter. And 5, your influence should extend beyond your own payroll if you want to have a future-proof business. And if you can wrap your head around all of those, you're not just doing HR. You are actively steering the business. Now, thanks so much for tuning into the Talent Sherpa podcast. This is where senior leaders come to rethink how human capital really works. And again, a quick shout out to Dan Kaplan over at ZRG. Thank you for putting a spotlight on this conversation and pushing the thinking forward. I hope you check out his article. We'll have a link in the show notes. And a special hello to one of our favorite listeners. Hi, Gia. Thanks for being a part of the Talent Sherpa community. Enjoyed talking with you earlier. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, leave us a review on your favorite platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeart. The more you do that, the more the algorithm shares this with others and the faster we can grow and bring value to others. So please do that. And if you're a CHRO wondering, where do I start my AI journey? Because my CEO keeps asking, check out Propulsion AI. That's at www.getpropulsion.ai. It's transforming how smart companies turn HR insights into powerful outcomes. And if you're an emerging or brand new CHRO ready to accelerate your impact, head on over to my Substack, talentsherpa.substack.com. We were named a bestseller today, which is pretty cool. I don't quite know what it means, but I'm still heady about it. And if you head over to www.mytalentsherpa.com, we've designed resources specifically to help you navigate, elevate, and deliver results from day one. So until next time, keep innovating, keep experimenting, and keep on climbing.